Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Entertainment Hour on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. My name is Dragon Viper, the host of the show, and you're looking at my co-host, Chris B. Bacon. How are you doing, Mr. Bacon?
I am doing good. Hope everybody's doing good today, and I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I believe so too. And I'm doing okay. Just trying to get used to being, back at work because I was on vacation. Well, in a way, and
Right.
so now I'm trying to get used to being back on my shifts on Graves. So a little tired, but hanging in there to do this show. So we're here for another episode of with all new actor, an actor, actress, and 2 TV shows. There will be a change coming up, which I will explain later on in the show. But right now, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start off this time with the female actress first. So, our female actress that we will be talking about is Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, she has, and I don't remember the number, but she has starred in several movies. Most people may know her in the movie Halloween, which she has actually been in pretty much every single one of them. So we're going to start off with the top 3 good lists that we like, dealing with her. The movies that we like. So go ahead, Chris, and start it off.
Yeah. So the 3 I picked for Jamie Lee Curtis is probably, Halloween, the first Halloween. The second movie would probably be, I think, the most recent movie, I guess, 2021 was Knives Out. And her third would be Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Yeah, and I never actually seen Beverly Hills Chihuahua, so, or what I'd like to call, Chihuahua. Sounds funnier that way. But anyway, yeah, that was a good list. My list, is a mix, kind of. I kind of saw her doing a little bit of comedy. I mean, not too much, but a little bit. So, I mean, my list consists of, Christmas with the Cranks. I mean, Tim Allen did great in that movie, and with Jamie Lee Curtis paired with him, she did good in that movie. Freaky Friday, I thought she did well in that movie.
I remember that.
And then of course, some of the Halloween movies that she was in. So, yeah. So it's like I said, she did well in a mix of different movies, comedy, horror. So, anyway, and there were a few that I didn't care for, and I mean, I didn't like Knives Out. I think it was, I don't think she played that part very well. And then, of course, the other 2 that I didn't like was True Lies and My Girl. So,
what?
Uh-oh. And it sounds like we got Big B back on here on,
the voice
audio.
of reason is here. The voice of reason is here.
Yeah, just don't, voice me. So
how you doing, guys? How you doing?
Good. How are
Doing
you,
good.
Big B? Yeah, we can't talk.
I'm doing good on my way to work. So, talking about Jamie Lee Curtis right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, you mentioned in our chat that you didn't really care for her. I mean, did you like any movie of hers or?
Well, I did. I mean, and the kind of theme I got with her is, to me, she's not a serious actor. She's not an action actor. She's not a comedic. She's like the motherly actress. So like you mentioned, Christmas with the Crank. I loved her in that one. Freaky Friday, I believe, was the other one. It was her and
Tim Allen. Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that just slipped my mind too. Where she kind of played a motherly figure in there. That's how I see Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, yeah, the Halloweens is where she's probably best known for. To me, I'm not a scary movie type of guy, but well, God, I had a third movie in mind, and now I can't think of what it was. Christmas with the Cranks.
My Girl?
Anyways, My Girl, yes, My Girl. Her and Aykroyd, and so to me, that's the kind of movies I see her in. If I was an acting director and had a family type of movie, or it's going to be based on a movie, that's the kind of actress I would take as my mom. Would be her. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's like I was saying. I see her in, pretty much, in my opinion, in a lot of different roles in the movies. So, but I do see your point in her being a motherly, figure in a movie.
Yeah.
So she does well in that. Were there three? I mean, you mentioned that you didn't care for the horror movies like Halloween. Were there any others that you didn't care for?
Yeah, I'm just not. No, I mean, I know she's been in quite a bit, and there's probably some that are just slipping my mind because, she's not one of my favorite actresses. But I mean, Halloween, yes, they were done right. They were good. I mean, if you like that type of movie, to me, it's not one of, my fortes of movies. I mean, I'll sit down and watch it with a group of friends and stuff, but, so no, there's nothing that really sticks out as bad movies, I would say.
Now, my question, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but which one, which Halloween versions do you like? Do you like the one where Rob Zombie made Halloween, or do you like the ones where Jamie Lee Curtis is in it?
The Jamie Lee Curtis ones are the original, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think Rob Zombie did good, but I preferably, sometimes you just have to go with the classics. There's nothing beats a good classic, so I would have to go with the original Halloweens.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and read off the top 10 Jamie Lee Curtis movies. Number 10 is Fierce Creatures. 9 is True Lies. 8, I can't even read my own writing. The Trailer of Panama, or the Taylor of Panama. Number 7 is Halloween, the 2018 version. 6 is Trading Places. 5, Freaky Friday. 4, Road Games. 3, A Fish Called Wanda. 2, Knives Out.
I guess it was in that.
And 1, Halloween, the 1978 version.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of those. I haven't seen some of those. Yeah, I guess they can. I mean, in my opinion, I think Freaky Friday needs to be up closer to the top 3. But
Yeah, I would agree
Now,
with that.
remind me, what was Trading Places about? Because wasn't that kind of like a Freaky Friday thing? Or
I think so.
yeah, it was something similar to it.
yeah, okay. I mean, I guess you can't go wrong with number 1 being Halloween because that's probably the franchise that she's known for, the movie genre. So I can't argue number 1, but the other ones, like you said, Viper, Freaky Friday should be up there a little bit more. True Lies, I wasn't a I didn't hate the movie, but I think that could have been up there a little bit higher. But
Well, I think they also
everybody's got their own list.
I think they also did. They picked Halloween to be first as your number one, is because that's where she got her start in movies, was Halloween.
Yeah, I would still say though that if you're not a Jamie Lee Curtis fan, but you know who she is, Halloween's going to be the first movie you're going to pick that be like, oh, she was in Halloween, so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where she was most noted as.
Yeah.
We got
I'm actually surprised they didn't go with like Halloween as the first three of them, so.
And then we got a comment from Krista saying Freaky Friday was amazing. Thank you, Krista, for watching the show. Hope you're having a good day at work. And I've got some facts here about Jamie Lee Curtis. And she actually was offered a cameo in Scream 3, which she declined to go for. So, which I don't disagree with that. Scream 3 sucked.
Well, all the Scream movies kind of really just blew. I mean,
I think the first one was okay. I mean,
I thought the second one was my favorite, but number 3 was just terrible. So I don't disagree that she declined it. During an interview, here's irony right here. Okay, she could be in horror movies, she could be in Halloween movies, but she refuses to watch horror movies because she's afraid of horror movies. She hates watching horror movies, but yet she can be in them.
Well, it's like actors and actresses. They don't mind, working in TV and all that, but they just can't watch their own stuff back. They can't watch their own films back.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that with some actresses and actresses that they don't watch their own movies per se.
No, I mean, but to star in a horror movie but can't stand horror movies, it's like.
Well, but that's like what we said last week about Kevin Hart. He doesn't like animals and insects and all that. So, but he was in Jumanji.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I just still find it weird.
Oh no, it is. You're right. It is weird.
Another fact is that out of all the on-screen guys that she has kissed on screen, she said Dan Aykroyd was the best. I just had to throw that in there. So, and any females who want to be actors, that want to act with a guy, go act with Dan Aykroyd.
I guess, dude. She's got to kiss a lot of different guys too. I mean,
yeah.
Tim Allen and I guess the name of the list. And Aykroyd to be the best. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, any females watching this, you want to be an actress, go act with Dan Aykroyd if you want to kiss him. So, she was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in September 3rd of '98. So she's had a star there for quite a while. And what was that?
I said I would guess that would be for her roles in Halloween.
Yeah,
about that time.
Yeah, well, that was around that time because even Freaky Friday, her version hadn't even been heard of yet. So, and then another fact is she actually had a Vicodin addiction problem from 1989 to 1999. So for about 10 years. And the only reason why she was prescribed the Vicodin and opiates was because back in '89 she had minor plastic surgery for her puffy eyes.
Huh.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would get plastic surgery for puffy eyes or not, but yeah, she got addicted.
I just deal with it.
Huh?
I said I would just deal with it.
I'm dealing with it now. Oh.
Yeah, I don't get the whole plastic surgery. The facelifts and I mean, certain other body parts, maybe I get it, but
Yeah, I don't get it either. And then the last thing I have on her is that she told a German magazine years ago that she was going to retire from acting, and that her movie Christmas with the Cranks was going to be her last movie. Well, she was definitely wrong on that one. So that's pretty much all I have on her. Does anybody want to say anything else about her?
no, I just I thought Christmas with the Cranks was pretty funny, especially when they're trying to go to Jamaica or wherever, and they're getting all the suntans and stuff, and then all of a sudden their daughter calls. It's like, hey, we're coming to home for Christmas, and now they're planning their big party and trying to get all decorated and stuff, and
Yeah, no, that was great.
Christmas with the Cranks is probably an underrated movie.
Oh, it's definitely.
I think so. Yeah.
I like the part on that movie where Tim Allen's stabbing his face with a fork because he got collagen or whatever it was, and he's stabbing his face with a fork, going, "I can't feel this. This is and then he's trying to eat peaches or whatever it was, and kept falling out of his mouth, and he's trying to drink water, he chokes on it. So no, that was a great movie, and I think they worked well together. Those two worked well together. Gene Carlson left a comment saying, "I'm dealing with puffy eyes right now." Okay, but thank you for watching. I hope you're having a good day. So if there's nothing else on her, we'll go ahead and move on to Chris Rock, our actor. I mentioned that we were gonna do Chris Rock today because I kept trying to say his name instead of Kevin Hart last week. So I'm like, okay, well, we're just gonna do Chris Rock so I could get that over with.
There you go.
So I mean, he's a good actor. He does more voiceovers than anything else. It seemed like to me.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
He's been in 80. He's had 80 roles in movies and TV. So he's pretty up there with what he does on shows. But Big B, do you have 3 good movies of his?
Man, it's tough. I mean, because he's a funny guy, and I mean, the Grown Up 1 and 2 were pretty funny with him in it. The Week of, I think it's called The Week of. It might be a week of something else, but it's him and Stanler. Their kids are getting married to each other, and they're planning a wedding. I think it's only on Netflix. I thought that was actually pretty good. Death at a Funeral, I thought was pretty good. Those are probably my top 3 Chris Rock movies. Viper, you keep talking about him and Kevin Hart. I got to get him and Chris Tucker all mixed up all the time, movies and stuff. So, but Chris Rock, great guy. I like watching pretty much anything he's in. But yeah, him and Grown Ups 1 and 2, and then probably Death by a Funeral. I know I'm probably missing out some other ones, that you guys will probably name. So.
But yeah, he and it's funny because if I were to say, like, the next time we do actors and actresses and I say Chris Tucker, somebody might get him mixed up with Eddie Murphy. Who knows?
Probably.
All right, Chris, what are your top 3 good ones that you like?
Oh, there's a lot of good Chris Rock movies, but I would have to say Grown Ups 1 and 2 and Dr. Dolittle, the original.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the guinea pig, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the voice.
Okay. Yeah. Like you said, Viper. Yeah, he does a great voiceover on some of these movies. So.
Yeah.
I've been going back and forth between like Madagascar and a couple others. But
Yeah. My list would be The Longest Yard.
oh yeah.
Oh,
He does a great character for caretaker.
Right.
And then Grown Ups 1, and I also liked him on Beverly Hills Ninja because he did great with Chris Farley. So, I mean, those are pretty much my list of good ones I really liked of him in it. Chris, what are the three that you didn't like?
I mean, like I said earlier, it's kind of hard to choose from. Probably one I probably wasn't a fan of was a Death at a Funeral. Nobody's Fool and The Road's Not Taken.
No, that's a good list right there. I mean, it's like me. I didn't like him in Sergeant Bilko. I liked that movie, but I didn't really like him in it. I didn't like him in Grown Ups too. I didn't really care for the second him in the second one. I did like the first one, but just not the second. And then I agree with Chris on this. Death at a Funeral was not particularly something that, I mean, him being in it just didn't work for me in there. So I'd have to say Death at a Funeral. So I agree with Chris on that. What about you, Big B?
It's kind of hard to really pick movies that you didn't like, Chris. I don't really. I mean, you guys named. I mean, outside of Death at the Funeral, which I thought was pretty good. Beverly Hills Ninja. And there's a couple other ones you guys named that I don't even think I've even seen. So, I don't really have a bottom three. So,
yeah, it's kind of hard to choose.
Well, I mean, he's good. See, he's good. The thing is, he's good in his own way for his own characters, but unfortunately, either his character was just a cameo or wasn't that great of a, when I think of Chris Rock, I think funny, I think comedy.
Yeah.
And just a few of the roles that he's played in a few of these movies, it wasn't that funny or anything like that. So, and then we have Gene Carlson commenting saying, Chris, are there that many of his movies that you didn't like? It was hard to choose.
I like Chris Rock.
Yeah. I
maybe there is some, but I can't think of any off the top of my head, really.
And that's the thing is, if you liked an actor, you really don't want to see them playing in a bad role. So, you might not like the role that he's in, but you like the movie, or you might not like the movie, but you like the role because he's in it, or she's in it, I guess. So,
yeah.
But,
yeah, that's typically how it goes. I mean, if you don't like a certain person, you don't like it, but you like the movie. I mean, so anyway, the top 10 list for Chris Rock is top 10 or number 10. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. I don't remember him being on there, but I guess he was.
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Yeah, it was. It has oh shoot, one of the Wayans brothers in it. I can't remember which one.
Oh, okay. I know it's not. Yep.
It was in the early 90s.
Yep.
And then number 9 is 2 Days in New York. Number 8.
Yeah. 3 days is just too much.
Well, hopefully our colleague from Coast to Coast, network isn't hearing that. Number 8, Dogma. Number 7, AI. Artificial Intelligence. Number 6, New Jack City. Number 5, Madagascar 3. Number 4, Nurse Betty. Number 3, Top 5. Number 2, Good Hair. And number 1, Dolomite Is My Name, which I've never heard of that one.
God, so we
Never
didn't
have
even name
either.
one of his top 10 movies.
No.
I didn't guess. I guess Madagascar, not the third.
Yeah, we didn't name any of this top 10. But I didn't really care for artificial intelligence or or Dogma or actually I didn't really watch any of those other. I'm gonna get you.
Dogma was, I mean, it wasn't really. I think he was just a cameo in that. I don't think he had a big part in that one, but that's weird. We didn't hit one of his top 10 movies, so either we're right or they're wrong. One of the two.
I think that's the
I
first.
think they're wrong.
Yeah. If we didn't name one, then somebody's wrong, either us or them.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
saying them. They don't know what's good. So, here's a few facts about Chris Rock. He was actually discovered by Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
I'm not surprised.
That I didn't know. He received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on March 12th of 2003. In 93, here's something I really didn't know. In 93, Paramount offered him a role in a movie of the TV show Sanford and Sons. And he was supposed to play Lamont Sanford. But he said it was insane for them to even make that movie. And because he respected Red Fox, he lobbied to have the production be stopped, which it was stopped. So they were going to do the movie, and he went against it, and they stopped it altogether.
I like the TV show, but when was that going to come out, or when did that start there, Viper? 2003?
It didn't.
No, but it was
93,
offered.
yeah.
93? Okay. I thought you said 03, because that would have been not a movie, I don't think, that would have flown over well with the way the world is now. 93? Now that's probably a movie I could see being made, but nowadays there's no way they're gonna make Stanford and Son.
No. But yeah, he didn't want to do it and wanted to stop it altogether, and they listened to him, so they didn't make it.
Yep.
He is one of the rare actors to be in 2 movies that opened up the same day in the United States. On May 27th of 2005, The Longest Yard and Madagascar, and they both hit the top spots at the same time.
Wow.
So
Good for him.
he's one of the rare ones that had that happen. He was considered for the role of Huggy Brown Bear in Starsky and Hutch in 2004, but that ended up going to Snoop Dogg instead. Even though he has had a pool in his house, I don't know for how long, but he didn't even learn to swim till he was 55. And the last thing I've got is his father and grandfather were preachers, which I'm surprised with how vulgar and mouthy he is. And
But off camera, he's going, "I'm sorry."
But you know what they say, the worst kids in the world are cops' kids and preachers' kids, and I'm a former cops' kid, so. So, I mean, do you guys have anything else about Chris Rock before we move on?
No, I think he's just he's a good actor, probably better suited for co-starring roles and cameos, probably not the mainstream, this is, Chris Rock, movie A starring Chris Rock, so that's what I think of it.
Yeah,
Funny guy though.
I agree. Like a secondary or third, person in a movie. I think he does a lot better though in voiceovers altogether.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Yeah. Give him a voiceover, and I think you're good.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our TV shows. First one is Roseanne / The Conners. There's a couple things I found about the Conners that I wanted to mention. So it was originally 9 seasons.
Yep.
And then of course, when they tried rebooting it, it ended up being a 10th season. Total of 231 episodes. The original 9 seasons went from October 18th of 88 to May 20th of 97. And then it was revived in March 27 of 18 and only lasted a month or 2 months. And it was canceled due to inappropriate comments made by Roseanne. So
that's not surprising.
Well, she's known for that kind of thing too.
Well,
yeah, that's what I mean. It's not surprising.
And the thing is the reason why I picked this show, was the fact of, I'm not a big Roseanne fan, but the show itself, if you watched it from start to finish, and even now with the Conners, they're hitting a lot of real life topics and real life stuff. And then, granted, Roseanne probably went above and beyond, and the producers didn't like it, but it's like, okay, so you're doing shows about real life things, and then it comes to one of your actresses or actors, cast members saying something, and you're gonna take the show off because it deals with real life. So to me, I don't agree with it, but I was a big Roseanne fan. I never thought she was funny. I thought she was more of annoying. She definitely wasn't the show as we're seeing now. With the Conners, taking her off. So, but for me, I just thought it dealt with a lot of real life situations. I liked it. I think each actor and actress that played in the original series were spot on with their characters. And then even going into the Conners, now they moved in. I can't think of the actress's name now as the mom. Or
Sarah Gilbert.
Is that her name from Married with Children? So now
Katie Seagal.
Yeah, Seagal. Yeah, exactly. She moved in, and I mean, I don't think they're missing a beat with Roseanne being gone. I think, matter of fact, I think they're
doing
a better show now. I think they're getting better. They're using the same scene, the same
like setup.
Setup, yep, and they brought back the lunchbox that her and Roseanne used to work in. They actually brought back the original job they had back when, at the beginning of the years, that Darlene and Becky both work at now. So, they're keeping it real, I think, and I really enjoyed the show.
And I think that's what reboots should do is
yes,
keep it the same. I mean, you're going to change some of it, but keep majority of it the same.
Yep. And then we have a comment from Gene saying, here's a little fact for you about the TV series Sanford and Son. Red Fox came up with that show in an answer to All in the Family.
Well, yeah, I can see it.
I don't know anything about it, so I can't see it. Never seen it, so I don't know. But anyway, yeah, you were touching on Roseanne and real life, issues and problems with, in a typical, 80s and 90s family style environment and life. And, and that's why, last week when we were covering, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that's where Will Smith got some of that serious real life stuff, was from Roseanne. So, it's definitely serious in some sense with that show. And I agree. I mean, Roseanne was kind of mouthy and loud and obnoxious, and so it shows that they've calmed down a little after she's been gone. I've seen an episode or two of the Connors, but I haven't really paid much attention.
Well, the thing is they might have calmed down a little bit, but they're still doing the same stuff. And like I said, I think the ratings are better now than they were back then. I think it's getting more steam now than.
I haven't seen the ratings, so I'm not sure about that. But
well, I know my mom never let me watch as a kid, so.
You're deprived.
Well, no. See, I'm not deprived because I watched it as an adult. But when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch it because with the way the kids were talking to their parents. And, my parents thought that it would sponge off onto me, and that's how I would talk to them. So.
Well, that's how kids were. I mean, that's the whole thing is that they're taking real life situations. And I'm not saying your mom was right or wrong. I mean, there's some stuff my mom didn't let me watch when I was a kid, and but the stuff I don't let my son watch, but that's how kids are, teenagers are, they mouthy to their parents and nice to everybody else, but
yeah, and I know she's watching because she left the last couple comments, but I had to throw that out there. So here's a few facts about the show. Alicia Goranson, who played Becky, supposedly wanted her hair. I still can't talk. Her hair shorter.
Yeah.
And the producer said no, that she needed to keep it long. And all of a sudden, she mentioned it to Roseanne, and Roseanne just grabbed scissors and started cutting her hair. She did. I mean, Roseanne was butting heads a lot with producers and writers.
Oh yeah.
That's not surprising.
And because Sarah Gilbert, who plays Darlene, her role was so important in the show that she was going to Yale at the time, and they actually worked around her schedule. And sometimes they would film on a soundstage in New York City so that she could still be on the show. Now, I don't know, Chris, if you know who this is, but I know, Big B, you have a good idea of who it is. Blues Traveler, the lead John Popper, is actually the one that sang the theme song to season 9.
Oh, okay.
Because seasons 1 through 8 was completely instrumental and just full of instruments, but when the season 9 came around and the singing, the lyrics were on there, John Popper actually is the one that sang them.
Cool.
Which that I didn't know. No surprise, Roseanne and Laurie Metcalf both had a real life crush on John Goodman. So there's no surprise there.
But I mean, Roseanne also, her real life husband Tom Arnold has appeared on that show a few times.
Well, he appeared on there, and 2 of her other ex-husbands did.
Okay.
I guess I didn't know she had more than one. So
yeah, she's been married 3 times, as far as I know, maybe 4, but three of her exes, including Tom Arnold, were on the show.
Yep.
And supposedly Roseanne did the show based on her real life experience with her own family.
Oh, okay.
So she said that the audience would understand a little more because of the fact that, it was based on her own family. Corn or canned corn is shown or mentioned in every single episode.
Really?
Really?
Whoever put that information down has too much time on their hands.
God, I'm about to go back and watch a couple of those episodes of Roseanne.
Yeah, but in every single episode, corn or canned corn is shown or mentioned. Shelley Winters, when she made her cameos on there, she never memorized her lines ever. Roseanne admitted that she never memorized her lines. She read them, said okay, and then went on with it. It's pretty sad. Well, it makes sense, but it's pretty sad that Roseanne is the only person that was on every single episode of the show.
Well, she was in the title. I mean,
well, I said, it makes kind of sense, but it's pretty sad that she's the only one. I mean, John Goodman was out for most of season 9. And then everybody else missed some episodes. So, yeah, she's the only one that's been in every single episode.
Well, Becky, there was 2 different Beckys, so
But even Becky's missed episodes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now here's something interesting. The show's original title was actually supposed to be Life and Stuff.
Oh.
Hey, you want to see Life and Stuff?
Yeah, how'd that episode Life and Stuff go?
Yeah. No.
Somebody should just say that if they're watching Roseanne. Just go, I'm watching Life and Stuff. What? Is that a new show? No.
Now, I'm glad this didn't happen. Roseanne was actually offered a role as Peggy Bundy on Married with Children.
No.
But she turned it down. But Roseanne turned it down, so that's when Katie ended up getting it.
Well, that was kind of ironic. She gets turned down, or she turns out Married with Children, and now Katie is pretty much doing her role in the Connors. So.
I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, oh, thank God Roseanne said no to playing Peggy Bundy.
Yeah. And the thing is it wouldn't have worked out, because Al, most of his comments were towards bigger women.
Yeah.
And Roseanne's not the smallest girl around, and that definitely that show would have been a whole different show, because you would have had to take out like 90% of the jokes that Al said.
Exactly. So I was so glad when she turned it down. When I read that, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad she turned it down.
Yeah, that show would have been a totally different show.
And then a couple things on the Connors season. One it was meant. One of you mentioned it a little bit ago, but it's one of the few spinoffs to have pretty much the same cast and sets. So, I mean, that's amazing, because it's like it was already said. All these spinoffs have different people, different settings, different areas. I mean, we've even discussed it on here about it. So, and when the spinoff started without Roseanne, they did mention that her character did die from opioid OD. So
yeah, I kind of saw that one. Yeah,
I think it was the first episode.
It was they did the first season of X amount of shows. Roseanne, opened up her mouth, and then they brought it back as the Connors. And the first episode or two they went through, and how I think the first episode is where they announced that she died because of drug overdose, and then I think the first couple of shows after that, they're trying to deal with it and stuff. So
yeah, I do remember that. And then I wrote down a few guest stars that were on there. Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire. I mean, everybody knows George Clooney was in there. Huh?
I was kidding. I said, who's George Clooney?
Oh. Neil Patrick
Leonardo
Harris.
and Tobey Maguire were both on there?
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris and Ellen DeGeneres. And those were the few that I wrote down. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for that show. Does anybody want to say anything else about it?
No, I just, if you haven't seen Connors, I would just check it out because, if you like Roseanne, it's pretty much the same show, just, more updated storylines, and, they still tackle everything that happens in the world. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try and start watching it again because I did watch the first couple episodes and I ended up getting busy or something and then lost track and then it ended up having more and more episodes. I'm like, well, crap, I'm gonna have to start over now. So, all right, and then we're gonna move on to our final TV show, Cheers. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to mention a couple things, and Big B, since you're the one that chose Cheers, I'm going to have you talk a little bit about it before I go to the facts of it.
Okay, what are you going to mention?
But it's 11 seasons long, 275 episodes, started September 30th of 82 and ended May 20th of 93. So go ahead and talk about it. I have never watched a single episode.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Cheers, a little dive bar in Boston, I think it was. Everybody knew your name. I mean, that's, you walk in and, Norm was the big guy in there. And, by the time he got to his chair, his beer was there. And, so to me, it was a little, the show took place in a bar. I think I would say 90% of the show was in the bar. That was the only scene they had, set they had. Sam Malone, former baseball player, owned the bar, managed it, I think, actually first, and then became owner of it. Christina, what's her name now? But I think she got one of her good starts there. It was just, I don't know, a nice comedy, day at the bar, I guess, and I enjoyed the show, 11 seasons. They had some cameos there. I think Alex Trebek was in one of them. A couple Boston athletes were in them. So, and then it spun off. Frasier, one of the characters, he went on to make his own show, Frasier. But everybody was, I don't want to say co-stars. I think everybody was, like the star of the show. I mean, because they did a lot of storylines with everybody. It wasn't just the bartender. It wasn't just one of the waitresses. It was everybody had, I think, a big role in that TV show. So,
okay. And what's funny is, I'm sitting there and I was talking to Chris before we went on live. And I was sitting there telling him, here's the thing. I would be sitting there and I'd be watching some other show that was on. Then that show would end and Cheers would come on. I'd sit there and listen to the themes, opening theme song and credits for the show. And then I'd change the channel because I was like, 9 when it ended. So, I didn't, being a little kid, 7, 8, 9 years old, you're not going to want to sit there and watch something that, isn't very fun or cartoon like or anything like that. So,
now wasn't Cheers a spinoff of Happy Days, or was that another show? 'Cause I could have sworn
it was another show, but I don't think Cheers spun off of anything really, because typically when they do a spinoff, they kind of promote the show within the show. Frasier was a spinoff of Cheers. Well, kind of a spinoff of Cheers. The character was at least a spinoff, and he referenced Cheers life.
Oh, his audio's cutting out. Your service is frozen now, buddy.
Yeah, I think he froze.
Yeah, he froze.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, but I was a little kid, so of course, I wasn't gonna watch it. I mean, I believe you weren't even born when the show ended, were you? So, no. I mean, but I know
what year did it end?
93.
I was just depending on the year or the month it ended, I was born in '93, so
Oh, it ended in May.
I wasn't even born yet.
So,
So no matter what.
So we have a comment from Blake Miller saying, "Norm, I hope you're enjoying the show, Blake, and and go ahead and comment on here if you like." Gene Carlson says, "Cheers," where Randy didn't know their names. Yeah, I don't know. I live in a small town anyway, so unless people moved out or died, they pretty much know me here by now after living here for about around 30 years. So anyway, here's some facts about Cheers. One is after Ted Danson said he was leaving the show, the NBC wanted Woody Harrelson to take over the bar, but he refused because he didn't want to be on the show without Danson. So I think they were going to continue the seasons if Woody Harrelson stayed on. But another one is from the start to the end of the series, the writers and producers made it a point to not show anyone leaving the bar to drive drunk, so people didn't think that they allowed it. So I guess they would show people drinking in that bar and visit and everything else, but they wouldn't show them leaving to drive. So didn't want people, society going and saying, "Hey, these celebrities on this show are drinking and driving. We can too." So, I guess Kelsey Grammer had an alcohol problem. His alcoholism became so big that during the final season, he was hard to work with and was nearly catatonic between takes. So before he started on the show of Frasier was around the time that he fully recovered from his alcoholism. An episode about Sam, I guess that's the bartender. The writers, or there was supposed to be an episode about him discovering a former ex-girlfriend of his was supposed to have HIV, but I guess they were having a writer strike, so they didn't even start that episode. They didn't finish writing it or anything like that, and it never got filmed. Cliff, I don't know if you know who Cliff is. Mm-hmm. He's the mailman guy.
Okay.
On the show. Anyway, Cliff was, and people watching this would know who it is. I mean, my mom has seen this. So Cliff was supposed to be a police officer, but producers felt that him being a mailman would give him more access to information regarding his trademark little known facts. So yeah, they thought him being a cop would be easier to get that trademark. So and then of course Cliff's little known facts were all ad-libbed by him. So they weren't even scripted or anything. Then we have a comment on here from Heather Ross. Me too, that would have been really weird. Because Gene Carlson said, "I'm glad Woody didn't take over." Okay. Yeah, me too, that would have been really weird. So they're agreeing that they're glad that Woody didn't take over the bar.
Yeah.
Cliff wasn't even, and now here's the thing, Cliff wasn't even supposed to be in the original script. He wasn't even supposed to be on the show. But the actor who played Cliff, his name's John, he auditioned for Norm and didn't think it was suitable for him. So John asked if there was a bar know-it-all, if they already had somebody who thought they knew it all at the bar and quickly improvised the character and showed the producers and writers, and they loved it, so they added him on the original script after all. So let's see, Ted Danson had a bald spot in his hair. So he had to wear a hairpiece to hide that spot. Ted Danson, Rhea Perlman, and George Wendt are the only ones that appeared in every episode.
Wow.
John would have appeared in every episode, but he missed one episode. So
That's crazy.
yeah, missing one episode and realizing you could have been on record being, one of those that were on every single episode. But he missed one while the other three didn't miss any. Now here's something. Woody Harrelson, he went and it's coincidental that he went and auditioned to be on the show, and they decided to have him as the character Woody. So it's coincidental he auditioned for the show, got the character Woody. So, I mean, Woody Harrelson gets the character Woody. And here's the funny part. He said he had never seen the show before he got on there. And he wasn't even interested in doing television because he was still he was doing movies back then. And he didn't want to do television, so he wasn't interested. But he only auditioned because of a friend of his. So if it wasn't for his friend, he wouldn't have even been on the show. Heather Ross says 99.99% of the episodes. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. John was on 99.99% of the episodes. And the other fact I have is the show was originally supposed to be filmed in a hotel.
That would be different.
Yeah, that definitely would. I mean, what would they even call it? I mean,
you could still call it. You could still call it that.
Cheers Hotel.
Yeah.
When they realized that most of the show was actually going to be in the hotel bar, they dropped the title hotel, the idea hotel, and just made it a bar. Heather says hotel vibe would have been weird. Yeah, it definitely would have been weird.
It would.
So I mean, even the opening credits, you see him in a bar, hanging out in the bar and stuff like that. If it had taken place in a hotel, that just.
But some hotels do have bars, don't they?
Well, they do, but they weren't going to focus on the hotel part of it. If they had decided to focus on the hotel part of it, it would have been weird because that wasn't that the bar was the main place they were filming.
Right.
And then I did write a few guest stars on there. Big B did say that Alex Trebek was on there. Also, who guest starred on there was Arsenio Hall, John Cleese, Johnny Carson, the former senator of Massachusetts, John Kerry, and before she ended up on Friends, Lisa Kudrow.
Huh.
So, I mean,
that's a star-studded cast.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I thought it was interesting. They actually got the former. He was senator at the time of Massachusetts, so it's quite interesting about that. Heather says lots of cameos. Yeah, I mean there was a whole entire 30 list alone of cameos, but I only wanted to write a few down because I didn't want to bore people with all that. So, but anyways, so that's pretty much all I've got on this. Is there anything else you want to talk about Cheers or anything like that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it was very successful, and it ran for a long time. Had some good stars in it, and whether they were guest appearing or on set, it was a good show, and maybe one day it revive some way, but I don't know if it will.
Yeah, I know a few of them are no longer. I know a few of the actors are no longer living. So, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
it's kind of hard to.
yeah, maybe the ones that are still alive, they'll do a revival or reunion of some kind, and like
Yeah.
they are with other. It seems like they are with other TV shows. Heather
Right.
said. Heather says reminds me of being a kid. My grandparents watched. So yeah, I didn't find it very interesting as a kid. So maybe as an adult, maybe I'll watch it now.
Yeah.
But who knows? Um, anyway, I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about with our topics today? Anything?
No, I mean, we had good topics. It was a great show, and what did you think of it, Dragon Viper?
I thought it was good. I mean, um, I think next time we're just gonna pick like TV shows that I've actually seen
Right.
that we've all seen, because
Yeah.
that would actually help a little. Heather asked, "Do you know where we can watch it?" I'm not
I
sure.
am
Chris, want
sure. Let
to
me
look
see.
that up?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Um,
My mom, or Gene Carlson, my mom says I was a bartender when Cheers was on. Yeah, I remember she was a bartender. So yeah. So while he's looking that up, I am going to bring something up that we are going to do a little bit of a change on this show, because we are known as Entertainment Hour. So we've been doing, actors and actresses as well as, TV shows. We're actually going to start doing music now as well, because we're considering entertainment with, music is entertainment. So we're going to add music to it. So we're going to end up, like today we did actor, actress, and 2 TV shows. So next week we're going to talk about music.
There you go.
And when we talk, and then the following week we're going, it's going to alternate back and forth. So next week we're going to be talking about random music, male, female, singer, and maybe a band, and then we'll talk about a couple songs or music videos. Who knows? We're coming up with that now, or so it'll be some different next week when you watch.
So I did find where you can watch it. You can watch it on Peacock, Paramount Plus, or Amazon Prime.
Okay, so Heather, if you couldn't hear that, it was Peacock, Amazon Prime, or Paramount Plus that you can actually watch Cheers. So, and we're getting comments about music. So definitely going to try the music thing next week and see how that goes. Anyway, so we're pretty much out of time. So Chris, 30, 45 seconds. Say anything you would like.
Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. We enjoyed the comments and interaction with you guys. Make sure tonight to tune into Sports Minute, and tomorrow morning we have the morning tailgate previewing this week's NFL action, and then also we have Between the Ropes. We also have a new show coming tomorrow night. I have to check on that. I think it's a music show, something about music interviews or something. I have to look into that, but that'll be tomorrow. We'll probably post something on that. So just make sure to tune in to Coast to Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. Turn into Coast to Coast Network, and we do different shows, throughout the week. So And I'm going to thank everybody. You know, Gene, Heather, Brandon Herrera says, "Well, Randy's singing next week." No, Randy will not sing next week.
Why not?
Randy is definitely not singing next week. You know, thank you, Blake and Krista, all of you guys for watching and commenting. We enjoy your comments, and we enjoy the fact that you guys watch. And you know, and Gene says, "Yeah, Randy sing." But no, I am not singing. So Randy doesn't sing. Neither does Dragon Viper. So anyway, yeah, and I'll be on tomorrow night with a few other people like Chris for Between the Ropes. So pay attention, you know, go ahead and watch that. And I hope everybody is having a great weekend and everybody has a great day.